Good morning, students. Rampal Pratatak from Electrical Department in Sri Digambar Engineering College, Dosa. Dear students, आज हम स्टडी करेंगे पावर सिस्टम पार्ट 4 और टॉपिक इज थ्री फेज सिस्टम. What are the advantage of a three phase system? There are some advantage of three phase supply, which is first is the amount of conducting material required to transfer a given amount of power is minimum in a three phase system. It means in a three phase system, power supplied is 3 times of a single phase system. We know that in a single phase system, number of conductors required are 2, but in a three phase system, conductors required are 3. But power transferred by the three phase system is 3 times of single phase system. So there is a saving of conducting material to transfer the same power through a three phase system. Second is the instantaneous power in a three phase system never fall to zero, resulting in smoother and better operating characteristic of the load. It means in a single phase system there is one positive half cycle and second is negative half cycle. But in a three phase system there are three phases displaced by 120 degree. So these phases does not go through zero at a time. Third is three phase supply is required by the three phase induction motors, which are widely used in industry because of their ruggedness, long life, higher torque, low initial and maintenance cost. It means the three phase supply required for three phase induction motors produce maximum torque and smoother operation of the machine. Simply, a three phase machine causes maximum torque than a single phase machine, and it operates smoothly without any noise. Next is domestic as well as industrial and commercial power can be supplied from the same three phase distribution system. It means a single three phase distribution system can supply to both the domestic load and commercial load and industrial load, because at domestic level most of the components, most of the equipments are single phase equipments, but in industries most of the machines are three phase machines. So a three phase system can supply to both the single phase and three phase load. Next is three phase system has better voltage regulation. It means in a three phase system voltage drop is less than a single phase system, because in a three phase system power flow through the three conductors, three phases, but in a single phase system same power flows only through a single conductor. So due to resistance of the conductor there is a more voltage drop in single phase system than a three phase system. So voltage regulation of a three phase system is better than single phase system. Next is, for a given size of the machine, the power generated by a three phase alternator is higher. It means if for the same power generation three phase alternator size is less than single phase alternator or generator, because in a three phase alternator there are three windings displaced in phase by 120 degree, but in single phase generator when when we put the winding in the space for a single phase for same power generation, then the size of machine becomes larger because of insulation. Now, generation of three-phase supply. A generation of three-phase supply occur at power plant where an alternator is required. An alternator consists of two parts. One is the stator, in which there are slots in which winding of three phases are placed and displaced by 120 degree in space, and rotor is a rotating part which is excited by DC supply, which causes constant flux. When this rotor is moved in this air gap, then the flux of the rotor conductor or rotor flux cut the windings of the stator, due to which an EMF is induced in the winding of each phase of the stator. That we consider that there are three phase windings of A, B and C. So first we consider that rotor comes first to winding A, then EMF induced in phase A is VA, that is Vm sin omega t, that can be written as VA is equal to magnitude of VTH by angle 0 degree. Similarly, phase B is displaced 120 degree from phase A, so the voltage in VB is Vm sin omega t minus 120 degree, that is VB is equal to magnitude of VTH by angle minus 120 degree. In phase C, voltage is VC, that is Vm sin omega t minus 240 degree, that can be written as VB is equal to magnitude of VTH by angle minus 240 degree. It means phase B is displaced by phase A 120 degree lagging, and phase C is displaced by phase B in 120 degree lagging. Next is meaning of phase sequence. Phase sequence depends on the direction of rotation of the rotor. Phase sequence means a sequence of induced EMF in the winding. For a three-phase alternator, there are three windings of each phase. There are three windings. Let three phases are A, B and C. So the EMF induced is VA, VB, VC, which are displaced by 120 degree in space. For when the rotor of the alternator move in clockwise direction, we consider that sequence of induced voltage in the winding is A, B and C. But this sequence can be reversed by reversing the direction of rotation of the rotor. Now if the rotor is reversed in opposite direction, then the sequence will be A, C and B as shown in figure. Next is meaning of balanced and unbalanced supply. In a balanced supply, magnitude of voltage of each phase remain in equal and two phases are displaced by 120 degree as shown in figure. So if VA is equal to VB is equal to VC, that is VPH, and if the phase difference between VA and VB, VB and VC, VC and VA is equal to 120 degree as shown in figure A, then the supply is said to be balanced or symmetrical. Next is phasor diagram B, C and D are represent unbalanced supply, because in phasor B, C and B, we see that magnitude of VA, VB, VC are equal, but phases are not displaced by 120 degree. So the system is unbalanced system. Now, meaning of balanced and unbalanced load. Similar to balanced or unbalanced supply, load may also be balanced or unbalanced. For a balanced load, impedance of each phase should be equal in magnitude, and if the three-phase impedance, which may be star or delta connected, are equal, then three-phase load is said to be balanced. If the load and supply both are balanced, then three-phase system is said to be balanced. It means in a balanced three-phase system, load and supply both are in balanced condition. Under normal working condition, three-phase system can be taken to be balanced. Now relation between line and phase voltage as shown in figure. We know that in a star case, line voltage is equal to root 3 times of phase voltage, but line current is equal to phase current, and line voltage lead 30 degree by phase voltage as shown in figure. Similarly, in delta connected load, line voltage is equal to phase voltage, but line current is root 3 times of phase current. Here, line current leads 30 degree by phase current. Next is zero neutral shift voltage in balanced system. We know that in balanced system, supply and load both are in balance. Let we consider a supply system is also in star condition and load is also in star connection. So the voltage at neutral point remain zero in balanced condition. So there is no shifting of neutral point. It means VCN is equal to VCN dash, and there is no current flow through the neutral point. Next is power in balanced system. We know that in a three-phase system, power is three times of a single phase system, that is 3 VPH IPH cos of phi, which can be written as root 3 into root 3 VI cos phi. When we write this equation in terms of line parameters, then three-phase power P is equal to root 3 times of line voltage, line current cos of phi, where phi is the phase displacement between voltage and current. Now, power measurement by 2 wattmeter method. A 2 wattmeter method is used to measure the power in both balanced and unbalanced load conditions. Now, figure show 2 wattmeters W1 and W2 whose CC is connected in series with the line and PC is connected between two lines as shown in figure. Let me consider that power measured by wattmeter W1 is given as P1, that is P1 is equal to VAB IA cos 30 plus phi, that is VI cos 30 plus phi. Equation number 1. Here V and I are the line voltage and current respectively. The reading of wattmeter W2 is P2, that is VCB IC cos 30 minus phi, that can be written as VI cos 30 minus phi. Equation number 2. Now we add or sum the two readings of the two wattmeters, and total power P is equal to P1 plus P2, that is Vi cos 30 plus phi plus cos 30 minus phi. Now simplifying the equation using mathematical formulas, then it is 2Vi cos 30 degree cos phi, that is root 3 Vi cos phi, equation number 3, which is nothing but the total three-phase active power. Now we can also write P1 minus P2. So P1 minus P2 is equal to Vi cos 30 plus phi minus cos 30 minus phi, that is minus 2 Vi sin 30 sin phi, that is minus Vi sin phi, dividing equation 4 by equation 3, we get P1 minus P2 upon P1 plus P2 is equal to minus tan phi upon root 3, which can be written as phi is equal to tan inverse root 3 P2 minus P1 upon P1 plus P2, equation number 5. From this equation, the load power factor cos phi of the load can be found, but the above equation can be applied only to balanced load. Now our next topic is power flow in transmission line. We know that a simple power system consists of a generating station, transmission system, and load and distribution system. Power is transferred through the transmission line from generating station to the load center. Now, the transmission line are the conductors designed to carry electricity over a long distance with minimum losses and distortion. It is the quality of transmission line, means there should be less loss, minimum loss in the line, and minimum distortion of the power supply. So the parameters associated with these transmission lines are inductance, capacitance, resistance, and conductance. A transmission line offers four parameters, which are resistance, inductance, capacitance, and conductance. Now, figure show the single line diagram of three-phase transmission system. In the given single line diagram, there is a generating station, generating bus number 1, transmission line bus number 2, and load. So assume VR is the receiving end voltage, which is assumed as reference voltage, that can be written as VR by angle 0 degree, that is reference phase. So Vs is equal to Vs by angle delta, where delta is the phase angle between sending end and receiving end voltage. Generalized line constants are A, B, C, and D, which are denoted as A is equal to magnitude of A by angle alpha, B is equal to magnitude of B by angle beta, C is equal to magnitude of C by angle gamma, and D is equal to magnitude of D by angle delta. So the complex power at receiving end is SR. SR is equal to PR plus JQR, which can be written as VR conjugate of IR. Here IR conjugate is conjugate of receiving end current IR. We know that Vs is equal to AVR plus BIR from transmission line parameters. From the above equation, IR is equal to Vs minus AVR upon beta. Now we put the value of ABC. So Vs is equal to Vs by angle delta, and A by angle alpha, VR by angle 0 degree upon beta by angle beta. Now simplifying the equation, IR is Vs upon beta by angle delta minus beta minus AVR upon beta by angle alpha minus beta. Equation number 2, that is IR conjugate is equal to Vs upon beta by angle beta minus alpha delta minus AVR upon beta by angle beta minus alpha. Now we put the value of IR conjugate in equation number 1. So we get SR is equal to VR conjugate of IR. So SR can be written as Vs VR upon beta by angle beta minus delta minus AVR square upon beta by angle beta minus alpha. Now we separate real and imaginary part. Then we get the value of PR and QR. So receiving and true power PR is equal to Vs VR upon beta cos beta minus delta minus AVR square upon beta cos beta minus alpha. Equation number 4. Now QR is equal to Vs VR upon beta sin beta minus delta minus AVR square upon beta sin beta minus alpha. Equation number 5, where PR is active power at receiving end, QR is reactive power at receiving end, and SR is equal to apparent power at receiving end. Thank you students for today class. Ask for any query.